businesswoman work the room, but not work the room. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just this contagious community of just this honor and this culture of just hugging and loving all of these people. And instantly, like, I knew why she was successful. Like, she's built this amazing, incredible community. Today, by the way, is her 6-year anniversary. And she just lost like 60 pounds. Doesn't she look fabulous? Annie has this way online of building this incredible community. And so I want you to lock onto that and follow her when she puts her credentials and all of that up, or you can follow her on Instagram. But she's going to talk to you today about getting off that carpet and about not having any excuses, about pushing forward to be the business person that you're designed to become, being the mom, being the dad, being the whatever it is. Guys, give a big round of applause to she's my favorite last speaker of the morning, Annie Hauser.
Hey guys, how are you? I am so excited to be here. Okay, let me make sure my clicker works. Perfect. All right, so this morning I was so inspired listening to Bethany. I feel like she blew my mind. I left her talk feeling inspired and excited and ready to change some things in my business. Then we just listened to Melissa teach us all about ourselves and a lot of personal growth stuff, which we all need, and if you think you don't need it, spoiler alert, you do. And now, I'm gonna kind of slap you around like a little bit, but with love, okay? So, my name is Annie. Quick introduction. I live in Philadelphia with my husband, Chris. We have 2 kiddos, Gray and Mila. We have 2 sweet dogs. We're foster parents. Our sweet little pumpkin just transitioned to her adoptive mama, so I was a mama 3, now I'm a mama 2 again. And I love this community. I love building businesses with other women and men in this community. I love teaching them how to build community themselves. I also love winged eyeliner. I also love Starbucks coffee. And I really love going to Target when my kids are sleeping. Not with them there. And I walk through with my Starbs, and it's like the best ever. Moms all know. So, first up, I want to have a disclaimer for you guys, okay? If you hear me say something and you get annoyed or I offend you, I want you to lean into that feeling, okay? I get it. Sometimes we hear people speak and they say something and we are like, rude, like, ew. What did she just say? I don't like that. I don't like her. I don't like it. I can't believe she just said that. If that happens today with me or with anybody else, or if it's happened already with anybody else, I want you to just try something a little bit different. I want you to take a breath, okay? Then I want you to write down the statement that that person said that irritated you, that annoyed you, that offended you. I want you to just sit with it. So write it down and then turn your brain off and continue listening to them speak. And then later, after you've left, I want you to just think about what triggered you, okay? Because often it has nothing to do, really, with what they said. It triggered something in us, something that we're feeling about ourselves, and that is what you need to explore later on down the road. You don't have to ever end up agreeing with it, but there's something in you that needs a little more thinking on, okay? So very commonly, what that is our ego. So our ego, it is a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. So often in this business, as we become leaders, as we enroll people, as we enroll friends and they start doing the business, we feel like we have to do all the things and be everything to everyone. We have to know all the things. We have to have all the answers. We have to, when they ask us a question, we have to know what it is. We have to be there for them. We have to support them. And then it starts to get hard. It's a lot of expectations to put on yourself. And then someone else comes along on your team who's a really good leader at something else. And you start to feel like, oh, I'm doing it wrong. I'm not doing enough. She's doing that better. And it starts to weigh on us. We start to feel like we're not enough. That, my friends, that is our ego right there. Someone else's sparkle is not going to dim your own. Okay? So this is where, right? This is where we link arms with those people. And we are so grateful that they are on our team. And if they're not on your team, link arms with them too and be so grateful that you get to stand next to their sparkle and learn from it. So this is where, when you feel that happening, you link arms with that person and you run with them and you ask them, what are you doing? That is great. Can you teach me about that? Let me teach you about what I'm really, really good at and my strengths. And please teach me how you're doing what you're doing because you are fabulous at it. Okay? Run with that person. And this is how we build a strong community. A community is only going to thrive and only going to survive when every single person in it is sharing their gifts and their talents. A community cannot survive with one person doing all the things and everyone else just sitting there. It has to be a give and take. This is where you are going to create your village. When those people that come in with so many gifts, talents, sparkles, the one that makes you kind of a little bit inside just for a second, go, ooh. Embrace it, run with it. This is how you're going to create your village. Collect those people, bring them into your village, friends. Now, let's move to entitlement. Entitlement is the belief that one is inherently deserving of privileges or special treatments. No one ever thinks that they're entitled. I've said and felt so many things that later on went, ooh, that was definitely being pretty entitled. Whoops, we've all done it. So here are some things that maybe have gone through your head at some point or another, okay? Why is my upline not placing people under me? She enrolls all the time. Why aren't I a sponsor of her people? I work hard. Why isn't my upline giving me really cool photos and graphics? Why isn't she making me cool graphics like that other team over there? It's pretty cool. Why don't we have class templates and scripts and all that stuff I see that upline doing for that person over there? Why doesn't my upline have really cool meetups and dinners at Diamond Bound like I hear other people's uplines doing? I saw it on the gram. My upline didn't do that for me. Okay, why? Why isn't my downline hosting more classes? Why aren't they working harder? I don't get it. Why aren't they doing it? They're not doing anything. Why isn't Young Living giving us more sales? I mean, couldn't we use a sale? Come on, guys. Have any of those thoughts ever gone through your head? Right? All of us, every single person, and if you said no, lying. Okay? Growing in other markets. International is exploding right now, okay? Which is awesome. Have you ever felt just for a second, you know, I know somebody in Brazil, but like my upline doesn't have any info for me about Brazil, so I guess I'm not gonna grow there. One of my beautiful Crown Diamonds, just hit Crown Diamond last month, Ana Cardenas, when she first started with me, where is she? When she first started, she came to me and said, hey, she lives in the United States, but she's from Mexico. She came to me and said, hey, I have so many friends and family in Mexico, I wanna grow in Mexico, like how do I do it? And I was like, that's awesome, I have no idea. Sounds cool, great, don't know. She could have done one or two things, right? She told me later on, years later, that for a split second, she was like, oh, but you're like my upline. Like, shouldn't you like know how to do this and like help me do it? And then, after that 1 second of thought, she said, no, this is my business. I am the one who wants to grow in Mexico. Annie doesn't want to grow in Mexico right now. I am the one that wants to grow in Mexico. I'm the one that's going to go figure it out. And so she did. And now, just a few years later, she's Crown Diamond. A third of my team, quickly growing to a half, is in Mexico. 2 of my diamonds are in Mexico. She slayed it, okay? Because she wanted it. She wanted it. It was her business, and she took control of that, and that is what happens, okay? It is not anybody else's business but your own. We have amazing resources available to every single person. The Grow Group is free. Yes, Executive to Silver Squad is free. Young Living has free resources on the virtual office, so many of them free for all of us. There are amazing paid resources that are worth every single penny that other leaders in Young Living had put out for us. There aren't even enough for me to name. There's so many. You can write them off. Hello. Well Style Essential, Simplified Oiler, Oil Revolution Designs, Happy Hangout, Sunday Social, Oily IPA, millions more. They are there for you, okay? There is absolutely zero excuse for my upline doesn't provide this. No excuse whatsoever. Whose business really is this? So if you don't know this about me, I am a hairdresser. I've been a hairdresser for 14 years. I am a co-owner of a successful salon in Philadelphia. By successful, I mean we make a profit. That's something that a lot of salon owners cannot say. That's something that a lot of business owners, brick and mortar business owners cannot say. Many businesses, you are considered successful if you are breaking even. At the salon, we have overhead. We have to pay rent. We have to pay the stylists. We have to pay the water bill. We have to pay the color bill. We have to pay for anything that breaks, and the dryer breaks a lot. We have to pay the electric bill. We have to make sure everything's running. Every single month, it is thousands of dollars in overhead at the salon. That is the norm for a brick and mortar business. With Young Living, you don't have to rent a space. You don't have to put out a whole bunch of money to keep the water on and to pay rent. You don't have to ship stuff from your house and buy packing supplies. Young Living does that for you. The only overhead you have with your Young Living business is your 100 PV a month to get paid on products that you are using yourself for your family. It costs tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars to open a brick and mortar store, and you may not make a profit for years, and that is normal. That is the norm. With Young Living, you can run your business on 1,200 PV a year overhead. That's it. On products you're using yourself. Yeah, that's a gift. That is a gift. Gift, you guys. You have to think about that. These are products that you are using on yourself, on your family. And how the heck are you going to share Young Living if you don't use the products? When I hear people say, I don't know how people do this because I have to order 100 PV to get paid. It's crazy. I don't understand. What are you doing? How are you selling products that you don't use? Do you know what that's called? It's called being a fake. It is. If that offended you inside, write it down, sit down with it, sit with it. Okay? You have to be using these products, you guys, in order to sell them. Another thing that I see often when building this business is see a lot of looking around at what everyone else is doing. When we feel stuck inside our own business, we do this. I've seen it. That girl over there, I just saw on her Instagram that she is offering a diffuser bracelet with kit purchase, and it's $25.95. And in the PMP, it says $25. I looked it up. I looked it up on the internet what that bracelet was. That is why she's selling kits. That is why she's succeeding. That's why. She's cheating. $25.99. Crazy. Let me call conduct on her. You guys, no. Why she's succeeding, you should stay within the $25, okay? PMP, read it. But it's not what I'm saying, okay? Just disclaimer. Here's the thing, you guys. What she's doing over there is she's building relationships. She's building community. She's working her butt off behind the scenes. You're not seeing that. She's selling kits because she's working her butt off. But what you may be doing is looking around at everybody else instead of putting your head down and getting to work. Stop looking what everyone else is doing. Stop complaining. Stop whining about it. Stop looking at what they have that you don't have. Put your head down and work. Move your feet, not just your mouth. Okay? Get to work, friends. Community. Momentum and growth come from a vibrant community. Focus on asking yourself, how can I serve my community, not what I can take from them? Be the leader for your community that you wish that you had. All of those things we just talked about, right? When you find yourself wishing that your leader provided something, create it. Go find it. Do you want cute graphics? Download the Over app, WordSwag, Unfold, Canva. Do you want class templates? Grab a book. There's amazing ones. Write a short class with 5 of your favorite things from that book. Teach it. And then copy and paste it into your notes so that now you have it forever to share with your team. You just made a class template for your team. Do you want a local team? Better start signing up neighbors. One of the things I hear so often, and I will tell you that every single Young Living Diamond leader has heard this before. Oh my gosh, and it's flattering. It's so flattering. Everyone has heard it. I love what you do with your team. I wish I was on your team. My upline doesn't provide all the stuff that you do. I wish I was on your team. Everyone's heard it. You guys, you don't need what anybody else has. If you want to create that local team, make one. Start inviting your neighbors over. Start inviting your friends over. Start having your community over. Show up for your community. Go to your kids' school and volunteer. I know. I don't want to do it either. Ew. But do it. Show up. Okay? Go knock on your neighbor's door and drop off muffins and say hi and introduce yourself. As an introvert, it's hard. I'm an introvert. I love people and I love community, but that kind of stuff is hard for me to do. It's not that I don't like doing it, it's just hard for me. I do it anyway. I show up, I say hi. That's how you're going to create your community. The reality is it doesn't matter where you are. You could be on my team, you could be on somebody else's team, you could be on anybody's team in Young Living. You are right where you're supposed to be. And do you know how I know that it doesn't matter whose team you're on? If you're gonna rock this business or not? Because I have a lot of people on my team that say they wanna do this business and don't do it. And they have all of the same resources that all my rock stars do. right? It has nothing to do with what team you're on. It has to do with what is inside of you, that drive, that hustle. Is your why big enough to go create it yourself and go figure it out? People just want to be a part of something. That is what they want. You just need to start. Start building your community. Say yes and figure that out later. That is how I do everything in life. That's how I did this talk. Jordan was like, do you want to talk at Diamond Bound? And I was like, yes. And then I got an email that was like, we need your PowerPoint in like a week. And I was like, ooh, gotta figure out what I'm talking about. Okay. On it. All right? And then I just did the slides. I didn't even really have the talk yet. Okay? I figured that part out like mostly on the plane on the way here. But I'm doing it. Say yes, and I figure it out later. When it comes to having classes, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to start. What if people don't come? What am I going to do? What am I going to teach on? My house isn't big enough. I have like a bunch of kids that run around and they don't leave. I don't know what to do. How do I have a class? Book your class. Book it. Put it on your calendar. And then invite people. Then figure out what you're going to do with your kids and your dogs. Because guess what? You'll figure it out. You have it on your calendar. You've invited people. They're showing up. You're going to figure it out. You're going to find a babysitter. You're going to find a neighbor, bribe them with muffins. You're going to figure out how to like put your dogs upstairs in your bathroom, which is what I do, with like treats to trick them, to get them up there. You'll figure it out. Get to the nitty-gritty later. Just teach a class. When I teach my classes at my house, when I first started, brand new, and to this day, okay, I'm like sitting on my floor. Usually I have water, like maybe salsa. Lately I've been ordering like Jules thin crust pizza. Does anybody have that, or is that an East Coast thing? Oh, it's so good. Isn't it good? We just do that. You don't even have to have food. I didn't have food. I barely had water at my classes for the longest time. It is not about that. People are not coming to eat cheese plates. They're delicious, but they're not coming for that. What they're coming for is to learn about oils and be part of your community. Get your kit out. You just need your kit, not kid. But your kids can come. I've taught so many classes with babies on my chest, my own and other people's. A million of them. I've taught classes with my golden retriever in my lap. 80 pounds in my lap. You just need your starter kit. The seals can be broken. They can look used and loved. Are you missing the outer cover? Okay, who cares? Just get your starter kit out. Tell them why you got it, how you got into it. Tell them your story, whatever that is. Okay, tell the truth, be authentic. How did you get into it? Did you think it was total snake oils at first? Cool, say it. Because guess what? They're not, and you learned that. Teach people they are going to use every single one of the kit oils. Pass them around. There's your class. Same goes for team get-togethers. We have monthly team get-togethers. At my house, we rotate a lot. A lot of times we'll rotate between the different leaders. People will say to me, oh, well, how do you figure out who's going to do it? I'm like, I don't know. Somebody just like, Annie, want me to host? And I'm like, yeah, cool. That's it. Or like I say, hey, who wants to host? And 5 people go, me. And I'm like, okay, you, perfect. And someone hosts. That way we get kind of people all different, like all different areas. Different people will come. When we have a meeting, I don't have an agenda for those either. I get a lot of DMs on Instagram that are like, okay, so I love that you do monthly get-togethers with your team. And we also have cross lines that come too. If we have local people that like don't have a local team, they're always welcome to come too, so it's not always just my team. They're like, what do you talk about? Like, what is your agenda? I really want to have a team meeting, but like I have no idea what to do. What do you do? I'm like, oh, spoiler alert, I also don't know what I do. People come over and we mingle for like 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then we start, and everyone sits down, and usually while we're mingling, I've found a leader that's there. And when I say a leader, it could be someone that enrolled 2 days ago. I mean, it could be whoever. Maybe they just enrolled 5 people. I'll be like, that was awesome. You just enrolled 5 people. You've been doing this for a week. When I call you, can you come up and can you just like tell people what you're doing? And they're usually like wide-eyed looking at me. And I'm like, yeah, thanks. And they do it. Or if another leader's there who, maybe she's a silver or gold, I'm like, hey, what are you dealing with on your team right now? Can you talk about that? Cool, thank you. I just ask people. I ask people to participate. This is their community too. It's not just mine. I'm not their boss. I'm not your boss. Your upline is not your boss. And your downline are not your employees. So I just ask for help. And then we usually do a little Q&A. And then if there's something that's like I'm super fired up about, which is usually like one thing at a time, sometimes, then I talk about that, whatever's on my heart. This is not something I plan. This is how I roll. Maybe you're a planner and you have to plan it out, but here's the reality. If you don't just do it and you don't just book it and you just don't invite people, you're never gonna do it. And your people just want to be a part of something. They just wanna show up and be with you. They just wanna be together. So be the place where the community happens. You have to create that. And you're gonna have meetings where 2 people come, like you and your mom and your dog. You're gonna have meetings eventually where 50 people come. My favorite team meeting we ever had, my team still talks about it, is at my old house. We just moved into a big house that we built. But our old house that we were in for 12 years that I loved so much was 1,000 square feet. We had 3 kids, me and Chris, the dogs, tiny. And our one meeting we had, I just had Mila, so she was like all on my chest, curled up, little 8-week-old baby. And so many people came, they were in my bathroom. People were sitting in my bathroom. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I hope it's clean. In my laundry room, down the hallway, could not see anything at all. I was standing at the front of my living room and people were sitting by my feet, like I was sweating, because I was like, oh my gosh, I was so claustrophobic. People were sitting on my front door mat. My house was packed, and I remember feeling so grateful, but also like if I see one more car come, like I'm gonna pass out. Like I can't. Like I was dying. It's my favorite meeting to this day. My team still talks about it. So our goal is to pack my new house just as much as that. All right, cross-line relationships are gifts. This is another big part of your community, friends, okay? I truly, truly believe that we all do better when we run together, whether we are on the same team or not. Some of my absolute closest friends are on a different team, and I am so grateful for them. Someone to run with, someone to cheer for, someone to share ideas with, someone who doesn't directly affect what I do or what I do for them, but is in kind of the same spot for me, as me. Someone who has learned a completely different way to do their business, because you guys know, right? Are there a million different ways to run your businesses? Yep. Are any of them wrong? Nope. They're just different. I have a group of cross-line besties that we regularly will share graphics, photos, classes, inspirational business posts with, education posts, whatever. Why would I do something and then make my friends reinvent the wheel? It just doesn't make sense to me. If I write something and put it in my group and I'm like, ooh, that was really good. That was good. I share it with them. I'm like, go put this in your group, or I'll just post it in their group for them. Why would I want to make my friends work harder? We all need to be focusing on working smarter and not working harder. So share your gifts. I will gladly share something with someone to save someone else time. And then guess what? Do you know what karma is? It's a B. It's real. It will come back to you. When you do good things like that, it comes back to you. So they share things with me. I have friends that will just message me and be like, oh, here, I put this in your group, FYI. I'm like, thank you. Gift. There is room at the table for everyone. To me, there's no need for me to hide something that I have from another team. I want oils in every single home, not just every single home that's under the downline of Modern Essentials LLC. No, I want it in every single home. And I will tell you, karma is real. If you spend all your time keeping things to yourself and worrying about what someone else is using of yours, like, oh my gosh, I just saw that graphic that I made for our team on somebody else's Instagram. How did they get that? And you literally just spent 20 minutes complaining to your friend about how you saw some other girl use your thing on Instagram. That is not an income-producing activity, okay? Don't steal people's graphics. That's not what I'm saying. Like, that's not right. Like, but I'm saying if that happens, let's be mindful to ask them if you can use their graphic. If it's a public post, let's make sure we credit people and ask. But if you're on the end of it where someone has done it, can we just give people grace and just go, cool, I really must have done something awesome. They liked it. Let me move along and go create the next awesome. If you're creating awesome, people are gonna want that. Take it as a gift, take it with grace, and move on. Get back to work. Stop stressing, all right? I am not saying you can't have team exclusive stuff. We have team exclusive stuff too. They're a perk to our team, it's cool, right? But I do not spend my days worrying about what someone else has used of mine. I don't. If someone says, hey, can I use this? I'm like, enjoy, yes, have at it. Like, I'm not spending my time doing that. I've got more things to do, better things to do, more lives to change. All right, so your legs, you guys, are cross-lined to each other. I want you to write this down in big, giant capital letters. Because some of you I know are sitting in here after what I just talked about, and you're thinking, okay, I hear what she's saying about sharing with my cross-line buddies and not getting all bent out of shape. If somebody uses my stuff, I get it. But I work so hard, and I want to make all my stuff completely unique to my team, and I don't want anyone else to have it, and I just want my own team to be its own little, thing on an island, and we got a brand, and it's really cool. I just don't want cross lines in it. I just don't want, it's my thing, okay? I know that was going through some of your brains. I get it. But, so, you want your own little special community for just your team and no one else, just you guys. Spoiler alert again, your legs are cross-lined to each other. So here you are, preaching team community, but modeling separation. You are literally teaching your team to not work together when you do that. You have got to be modeling to your team, Team Young Living. Share, cross-line community, cross-line friendships. Edify your upline. Make sure that they know how awesome and grateful you are for your upline, because guess what? You're teaching them to do that for you. If you're not edifying your cross-line leaders and talking wonderful things about the gifts of your upline, find them, they're there. Speak them out loud, speak them to your team. You're teaching your team to do the same for you. You want your team to be able to work together. You want your team, when they decide to have their own little rock star group and create their own thing, you want them to still participate in yours. You want them to still be a part of your overall community, so you have to model that and you have to teach that. Big, giant letters. Your legs are all cross-lined to each other, so model it well for them, please. You will thank me for that one day, I promise you. One of my absolute favorite books that I've read is John Maxwell's Intentional Living. Has anybody read it? It's so good. So I read that book when I was at a point in my business when I was stuck, because I was keeping all my stuff to myself, and I wanted to be all the things and do all the things and be the leader that had it all together, and I didn't need anybody else to help me because I had it. I was good. Well, guess what? We weren't growing. Our OGB was like this, not doing anything. So I was reading this book, Intentional Living, by John Maxwell, and I read this quote from him that said, "Our lives are to be a river, not a reservoir. What we have should flow through us to others." And then I read, "The wisdom that a leader receives fills them up like a bucket fills up with water. When the bucket is full, water or wisdom, you as a leader have two choices, okay? You can be a reservoir, stop filling it up, save what has been collected for yourself, for your teams. Or you can be a river and let it flow over the lip onto the ground to make room for more to flow in. When wisdom is allowed to flow, it acts like water by nourishing everyone it touches. When you are a reservoir, you're holding on to everything for yourself. You are the only one, the be-all, the end-all. What happens to water that just sits? It gets stagnant. It doesn't grow. Nothing grows. It doesn't flourish. Rivers give life to everything, including our businesses. So be a river and not a reservoir. Cultivate rivers and not reservoirs in your team. So friends, when something, we're going to recap here, when something offends you or makes you uncomfortable, lean into it. Who has stuff written down in their book today? Don't tell me. That you're going to sit on later. Don't raise your hand. Okay? When you find yourself wishing what someone else had, go create it. People want to connect with you. Show up for your community. Create your community. You have your own gifts. They're special and unique to you. Go out and share them. Go out and get to work. Okay? Thank you, guys. You can connect with me here. Love all your faces. Thank you, guys.